Here's my observation. The answer doesn't come from the Bible. Like where, who, how, why the Bible's here. Is it absolutely true, 100%, or was it manipulated by the elite that published the books, the ones that invented the print press? Even though God is the one that allowed them to invent the print press so we can start printing the Bible. I mean, that's just a fact where man created all these things. But I think everybody does believe in a God. At least I'd hope so. Except for, I guess, I don't know, Scientology or scientists, whatever. Besides them. The rest of us, we believe in God, you know, like the basics of what God is to us, just growing up as a child. Someone that created you, number one. He created your brain, so he knows the ins and outs of your brain. He created your heart. He knows how your heart works. He created all the veins, everything that pumps blood through us. He knows our minds inside and out, like a motor maker at a car dealership. They know that motor inside and out. So when it comes to the Bible, and is it manipulated? Well, the manipulation itself is the talk about it being manipulated. You put that in people's mind, they all of a sudden start thinking it's manipulated automatically, like that. That's Psychology 101. But it just depends on your belief system. Like, certain people went through certain things in order to reach out to God through tragedies and whatnot. Mine was jail. But even before that, there were still certain things that happened that I knew it was God doing it. You know, like one of them saving me from an accident. Just because some drunken fool was, he was standing on the side. This was years ago, before I think I was a target, before all this stuff happened. But he was on the side of the road with his buddies, and I was going like 25 because it was like a 25-mile-an-hour limit zone, and the guy jumps out and grabs my wing, and he must have ripped his arms out of his socket. I don't know, but that was his fault. So I slowed down for 5 seconds. I'm like, what a freaking idiot, man. And then I drove up to the next red light, and then there was a car coming, and it made a left, and the light turned green for me, and then I went, so he was right in front of me. You know, once we got up to there's two red lights coming up next. The first one was red, the second one was green. The second one was above higher. It was like a little interval. It was confusing. So this guy thought that it was red when it was green, the other one, and when it was green, it was red. So the other car comes and smashes into this one because of the confusion of the light, because it looked like it was green from a distance, but the closer one was red. So needless to say, that car was 5 seconds ahead of me, and the other guy was, as the lights were changing, turning, he was speeding up anyway. So that was just one incident of me looking back like, man, I don't know what happened. I seen the accident right in front of my face. I mean, the car got smashed in the side, 5 seconds ahead of me. They were okay. The airbags went off. They got out all startled and everything. But I stopped, like right there. I knew that was for whatever reason or another. It could be no big deal, but it could just be a reason for me to get a connection with him. He'll remind you that he's there. For certain people, he'll remind you. So he reminded me that he was there. And so everybody has different experiences with God. Some don't have any. Some have more than others. But when it comes to the Bible being written, it does say in the Bible it's inspired by the men of God. And the argument is, well, these other men, they're not inspired by God. And they're the ones that rule everything and on earth, because Satan rules here. So they rule everything, and they had all the funds to make the Bibles and print them out, and anybody could have done anything that they wanted to with the scripts. How do we truly know is the question. Well, that's where faith comes in at. It's either one or the other, or you're somewhere in between. God created everybody and everything from the dust, from the dirt. For the ones that believe in God, we all know that we came from nothing. The earth was here before us. The animals were here before we were. We were the last ones here. Now, we have dominion over everything. But because Satan has his children also, and he agreed with God, he's like, all right, well, hey, look, I'll tell you what, I'll rule this world right now, right? I'll get Eve to, eat the fruit and whatnot. And I don't care about my soul later on. God, what do you think? Deal? God's like, yeah, Satan, if you want to, if you want to try, okay, here, sure. So that's kind of how it started. God was up for, he's up for a challenge. Aren't you? If you're godlike, are you up for a challenge, or do you back down from challenges? So God's just like us. He created us in his image. He wants things to do also, He has all these people to have things going in our lives. You know how much fun that must be? And that's why the elite one, they want to be like God. So Satan wants to be like God. So he wants to do exactly what he can, but they can't. They fall short every time. So they made the deal, and Satan's been he's been dominating like he's supposed to. But now the faith part comes in the scriptures, explaining a lot of things about life and how to live it, and the stories that happen in the Bible that none of us were there, but we either believe that they happen or we don't. So yes, they can definitely manipulate the Bible. They can change titles, like I said in my one video. It's the first time I ever messed with even looking at it. 1947 Bible. The only thing that was changed in the words were the titles. King James Version. None of the words were changed. I didn't see any of them. So when it comes to a Mandela effect, I actually was able to look at a 1947 Bible from my neighbor over there. He was like 80. It was his mom's. So it comes down to, do you believe? And this is where the answer isn't in the Bible. You can't get the answer out of the Bible. If the Bible, it's written in the Bible, but where's the proof? Where is the proof is what people ask. The proof to me that the Bible was written by men inspired by God, my belief would be that God is the one that created our brains, and he knows how our brains are going to work. So he also knows how to inspire his people to get the message across correctly instead of incorrectly. instead of being judgmental about it, like, you're wrong, man, you're wrong. Instead of being judgmental, you just give your honest, humble opinion towards what you believe and how it's possible. So, how is it possible that these skies are manipulated the way that they are? It just is, man. I mean, we're going to see. It is. That's the one thing that I'm going to stick with, is we are going to see shortly what they can do with the skies in a dramatic fashion. And God knew this, so even if they did write the Bible, God already knew that they were going to write it that way. That's why when they're playing out the Bible's end time prophecy on TV, that's so damn obvious. They're getting the scripts out of the scriptures, just like Bible study people are doing. They're getting when they read the scriptures, I see the scripts, I see the scripts, and when I watch TV, that's why I don't even need to see it anymore. It's just, you already know that it's a script. So the world is a script. The main question is it the scriptures being fulfilled, or are they just taking their scripts and fulfilling their scripts so they can depopulate us and kill us and get rid of us? That's what they're doing, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely doing that. But I just tend to believe that God is capable, because we didn't exist before Him, and He always has and always will. So it's tough to even question on my end if the Bible is real or not, 100% the Word of God, because I'm just going to have faith that He's the Creator and He knew what He was doing when He made us. That's, it's not in the Bible anywhere, you know what I mean? Like, that's my answer. My answer is just that. It's up here. It's in your mind. When you ask certain critical questions, that's why you have a critical thinking mind, because you think things through. And you kind of come up with answers and logic, and it just makes sense. So to me, if I'm going to build a car, I'm going to know, if I'm a car builder, I'm going to know every piece of that car inside out. And think about the technology that they have today. The technology knows that exact same thing, AI. And AI is basically the Antichrist system, the beast system. It's electronics. They're going to take it away from us soon, and everybody's going to freak out because there's going to be no more power. There's going to be no more Wi-Fi. There's going to be no more phones. There's going to be no more YouTube. There's going to be no more nothing. Nothing's going to be here. And then that's the test. That's the test that is going to depend on some people's hearts are going to fail of fear, and others, like myself, I'm going to be more enjoyed if it does happen that way, because then it's proven to me that the scriptures are true. That's what I'm relying on, is faith. That's it. And if we die, well, then I know there's another place other than this. Just go to sleep, Just go to sleep. Dream for 8 hours. You're in God's world. You wake up, you're in Satan's world. In between, you gotta labor in Satan's world. You gotta slave your way into what you want, or a living of whatever. We're all just still slaves because Satan rules this world, and that was the deal from the beginning. God is very well capable of making anything. And it's not like he is making them do it. He's inspiring them to do it. It's an inspiration to want to do it. Like, I want to do this. You know what I mean? I want to get the message out that I understand it. how I understand it. Hopefully it can help people understand it too. I want to get my message out there. If it inspires somebody to just have faith in something like our Creator, then good, if you didn't before. Because He's capable of doing everything and anything. And He's allowing them, in my opinion, to manipulate the skies. But, however, it's all God's material anyway. It came from the dirt. Everything came from the ground. The earth was here before we were here, and then we pop on last, and then we want to dominate the earth. You know what I mean? No, man. The earth was here first. It's like it's their land, and we're trying to take it over. So the evil ones have taken it over from the beginning. Planned that way. So in the end, the good ones, they're going to get their reward from all this. And we just happen to live in that generation. We just happen to live in the generation. Because you know why? When this dramatic event happens, okay? The beginning of this event that's going to collapse everything and everything, starting here in America and then working its way around the globe, because Trump said America first. Once that starts happening, my faith is going to grow more and more and more that the Bible is true and truer and truer, because I'm expecting this. I anticipate these things ahead of time. I just do. It's a sense. It's just one of those senses that God gives people. You can sense it. So when people say, well, where's it at in the scriptures? Tell me where it's in the scriptures. Everybody wants proof of your feelings. My feelings are that in the end, whether that Bible, and let me just try to close it up, is written by just the elite or men inspired by God and the elite, because remember, the elite still do believe in that karma, and so they can't take everything, they can't change everything if they did. It's up to you to find the truth through the verses. It's up to you to interpret it. So when there's influences by Satan's people and teachers, it makes you think otherwise. When it's inspired by the men of God, they are going to write the truth. It's almost in a sense like gematria, where there is truth written and then there is lies, but because they know the matrix system, they know that you have to tell them the truth after the lies. So it's up to you to discern, well, which ones are they telling you the truth? That way you got to catch on, and which ones are lies. So, obviously the globe is a big issue. Why are people saying that it's a flat? And why are people saying that it's a globe spinning 66,600 miles an hour? Why is it like always two different stories? At least two different stories. Well, because it's always God's story and Satan's story. And then there's a way to divert the attention from that and go off into conspiracy theories, into many, many different lies to get you off the main topic over here, which is the Bible. You know what I mean? The Bible. It's like, this is God's owner's manual on how to live. Like, here, this is my book, human little pea-head, pea-brain human beings that I created, because we have pea brains compared to God's brain. That's what we got to remember. Pea brains. Some questions, well, they're pretty hard to answer, but they're also, it just comes down to your faith with God. if you can answer them or not. The questions about the Bible: has it been manipulated? Has it been changed? Has it been, have the elite just written it and they're playing out the scriptures? Is it men inspired by God too? Did God allow the Bibles to be manipulated in some way? Well, even if he did let the Bible get manipulated, it's his Bible, and what they're playing out on TV kind of tells me in Scripture where they're at. And then the rest of the Scripture that I believe they don't understand, which is spiritual, a spiritual meaning to it, they don't understand it. And so that's where you see the loophole there, that is something that they can't comprehend, because there's no spiritual insight that they have, because God put the wool over their eyes, the strong delusion that he's going to send in these last days. A lot of people are delusional. So if it is changed, or if it isn't, it's still God's material. It's still his ideas that he's given us human beings to create things with our hands. And even if I'm sure a lot of men inspired by God are the ones that created all these things. And guess what? The elite took the idea and stole it and said that they did it. So that might even be possible also. So I guess what we'll do is just wait and see. That's all we can really do, is wait and see if this plays out pretty soon, this America First ordeal. But it's America First, like natural disasters and stuff that they're going to blame on God. They're definitely going to blame that on God, even though they are the ones that are making it. They're the ones making the machines that create hurricanes. They've showed episodes of it on the Weather Channel, how they can create a hurricane in this lab, the hurricane lab. I did a video on it. I think I got a strike on it, by the way. So they were showing you that they can make hurricanes. So they are responsible right now for all this, earthquakes, whether they're just telling you they are and blowing smoke up your ass, kind of like the volcanoes, where they can just stand there with their smoke bombs. They are doing all of it. And that's what I've been trying to say for as long as I understood that they're all a bunch of big fat hypocrites. They're all lying. So they're gonna play out the Bible the best way they can, and then they're gonna hire YouTubers to get on there and teach the same thing that they want them to know. And like the ones that think that the rapture is going to happen, it's not going to happen. Okay, we are not going anywhere. We are staying right here till the very bitter end on the last day. Deal with it. We're all going to miss the rapture, because spiritually it already happened the first time, and then the second time, well, here we come. This is the last time. People can sense, I think, that something's getting ready to pop off. Something just doesn't seem right, and the only reason I'm more excited about it is because of my faith. My faith tells me that this is what is supposed to happen, and when you expect these things to happen, and then when they do happen, then you get more ecstatic, just like the war that began on April 7th. Wars and rumors of wars. It did start on that day. It just did. And from that point on, I felt so much better just knowing that these scriptures that they're playing out, I'm catching on to. You see? So, but that's why I said it was an honor to be called a Mason, because they know the script. But see, I'm the furthest from a Mason, because what's the most opposite thing from a Mason? Career-wise, like what can you think of? I think immediately of wood. you got wood and you got brick and concrete, and you got concrete, you got trees. So you got the mixture of both. And the exact opposite of doing concrete is doing woodwork. So if you have a carpenter, well, then you have a mason. And the mason does not do carpentry. And the carpenter will not do masonry. So there's that. But I was going to end the video, but because it was getting dark. Oh well. I'm just looking forward to the stuff that I'm expecting to happen in my head through understanding, reading the scriptures, seeing how things are playing out, and knowing that their hearts are going to fail because of, and again, I have never said, believe me. Well, maybe. I don't want to lie to you. But I mean, like, whatever I'm saying, I'm not forcing you to believe me. You have free will to choose whether or not you want to listen. Period. If I didn't want to listen to somebody, I just won't watch them. So that's how I look at it. The people that are watching consistently, you guys understand what I'm saying. So, Bowie. Wanna dance, dance, dance. Alright, bud, get out of the way. Where was I? Just rambling on again. Rambling on about the Bible, the bottom line of the Bible. Is it manipulated? I believe that we have to read between the lines. That's what I believe. And the answer doesn't lie inside of the Bible as to whether or not it's written by one or the other. It just ultimately comes down to your faith. But again, when you recognize truth, it's not about, to me, the salvation part. Like when I said I got saved back in 2004, I always believed God was real anyway. And I never thought that I was going to be burning in hell for any reason, because it never made sense to me. Because I always thought like that, the same reason all the time. Why would he burn children that just died in car accidents? He wouldn't. They never had a chance to turn to him. But then it's in the age of knowing. Well, you have to be a certain age, and God won't take children. But at a certain age, at 13, you need to choose. And if you didn't choose after 13, you're going straight to hell. So that doesn't make sense either. So none of that makes sense as to what God would do when nobody could physically say, hey, God, can you create me now? And God's like, all right, I guess. I guess I'll create you now. Now that you asked. It's getting too dark over there. I keep getting sidetracked. Sorry. Bowie's running underneath of me. But I guess what I'm trying to just come to the conclusion of and draw out. Yeah, you know, I gotta kill 4 more minutes. So it's my trademark. Okay. Don't anybody try to steal my trademark. My 33-minute videos. Or 33. The number 33. It's mine. Because I'm the Mason. I'm the 33-degree Mason. Remember? they have to tell you the truth, and then they can lie to you, but they have to tell you the truth. If they can throw it in there with a joke and say like us, the Masons or something, and or pretend you're talking about the Masons, but you're talking about us. You're meaning us. You know what I mean? So it's all in the way you say it. So it's my 33-minute video that I'm dragging on for 3 more minutes. All I can really say is we're going to find out. Because when men's heart, when they fear and when they fail from fear, and then the other ones, some of them are going to understand it and they're going to kind of laugh. They're going to feel a lot better, and others are going to be worried. They're going to be worried. They're going to start praying to that God that we all know that created us. No matter what you know in the Bible, period. Anyway. Because there is billions of people that have no clue about the Bible, and are they just going to hell straight because they never had got a chance to get their hands on the Bible? No, that doesn't make sense to me either. And one of the verses that does make sense is when he's talking to, I forget what church, but he says to the ones that don't have this doctrine and don't know the depths of Satan, when he's speaking to one of the churches, I have no other burden to put upon you. And the Church of Philadelphia, he's saying he has no problem with them, period, because they haven't denied his name. So that one verse, to me, pertains to all those people that don't have this doctrine. They don't know the depths of Satan. He has no other burden to put upon them. It's like, when you die, you just go up to God. You just, whatever he chooses to do with your soul is what he's going to do. We don't know. We don't know for sure. But I don't think the Bible is the ultimate thing that's going to turn people to God. I believe that it just happens without the Bible, with billions of people in our lifetime. But it's a guide on how to live. And if you want to misinterpret it, misuse it, and then teach it, well, then you're part of the scumbag elite that's doing that. And then it's up to God's people to discern the difference between their lies and the truth that lies in the Scriptures, where they're trying to pull scripts out of and fulfill on TV and then in front of our face. So that's my basic synopsis of the whole story. Is the Bible, either way, is just a manual on how you should live. It's not the ultimate salvation. That book alone can't save you. It's faith through God, through your experiences.